Hey everybody, welcome back to Student Pilot Cast, this time for episode 19, Tour de Phoenix. We'll talk about my first night flight, my first flight into Class Bravo, and my first flight with landings at other controlled airports. Oh yeah, and it's all the same flight.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 4121 Tango is at Chandler Air Service. We have Zulu, and we'd like a south departure, please.
What does it take to be an angel? Where does the sun go when it sleeps?
Okay, Student Pilot Cast listeners, today's episode covers a really cool flight. As I said in the intro, this is my first night flight. I was excited. This was also my first flight into Class Bravo airspace, in this case, the Phoenix Class Bravo. It was also the first time I'd be flying into other controlled airports. Basically, it was a lot of firsts, and I couldn't wait. This wasn't a cross-country per se, we didn't go far enough for that. But it did basically take us all around the Valley of the Sun, thus the title, Tour de Phoenix. I'll give you a quick overview of what we did. We'd start by leaving Chandler about 8:30 or so. We'd head west toward Firebird Lake. Then after getting clearance through the Phoenix Class Bravo airspace, we headed up to North Phoenix to Deer Valley Airport and did a stop and go. By the time we were off the runway at Deer Valley, all of the Class Delta airports were closing, so the rest of the night we were landing at airports that were no longer being controlled by towers. That said, we headed over towards Scottsdale and overflew the field, then on to Falcon Field in Mesa, where we did another stop and go, and then headed a few miles down to Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, which is a converted Air Force base, so it has 3 parallel, really long, like 11,000 by 150-foot runways. And after 9 o'clock, it has no tower. So that was a pretty cool experience. I could have probably done about 3 stop and goes on each time around the pattern because the runways were so dang long, but I didn't, mostly because there was someone else in the pattern sharing the same runway with us. After doing a few stop and goes at Gateway, we headed back about 6 miles or so to Chandler and landed. It was a really cool flight, and I'll get into more details as we go along here, but I wanted to give the overall night so you could follow along. Also, I'm going to do only half the flight in this episode. The flight was longer than a normal lesson, so I'm going to break it up a bit. Okay, so let's get started with the flight. After getting situated, we tuned in the ATIS, and then made the ground call as we began taxiing to the runway. Because we would be heading into the Phoenix Class Bravo airspace and transitioning, and then immediately making a succession of landings at other Class Delta airports around the valley, I would need to stay busy to stay ahead of the airplane, especially as it pertains to the radio.
And we got a
Chandler Tower Information Victor, time 0247 Zulu, wind 220 at 15, weather better than 5005, temperature 35, dew point 01, altimeter 2961, visual approach in use, landing and departing runways 22, left and right. No TAM, caution for multiple obstructions in the vicinity of Chandler Airport, up to 310 feet AGL. Advise on initial contact, you have Victor.
Chandler ground, Cherokee 4122 Tango is at Chandler Air Service. We'd like a eastbound departure, please. I'm sorry, westbound departure. And we do have information, Victor.
Cherokee 4122 Tango, Chandler ground, taxi to runway 22 right via taxiway Alpha November.
Taxi to 22 right via Alpha November, Cherokee 22 Tango.
Yeah, and you can see the yellow line out there. Of course, there's a few planes out here. Yeah, just stay on the yellow line. You won't have any problem. Let's go ahead and put that on remote. Nav1. I used the DME and put it on the remote RMT over here and slaved it to Nav1 right here.
Okay.
We're mainly using it for
distance, right?
Distance, yeah, exactly. Again, we're just going to try to think ahead and get information ahead of time so it helps with the workload on the radio. Yeah, it's just a busy time. Once you've done it once or twice, it gets a little easier to do when you start getting your frequencies and a system on how you want to do it.
After the run-up, I was ready to take off on my first night flight, headed into airspace I'd never been in, and landing at a handful of airports I'd never landed at. Man, I was excited.
So should I turn the landing light on for...
Yeah, go ahead and turn the landing light on when you're ready to go. As a matter of fact, when you're ready to go, there's nobody here, so let's put the strobes on. I'll close up here.
Okay. 1261, COM 1.
I don't want that chart to get in your way there, but I'll leave it right there for a moment. All right. He's just doing touch and go, so
Wait for a second. I think he might do a taxi back like he did last time.
is that what he? Oh, that's probably what
I
he
think
was
that
doing.
was the one who...
Yeah, you're right. He's doing night currency, so he's doing them to a full stop, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I can't really move forward much without encroaching, so I'm just going to wait until he turns off.
He's turned. So
Okay.
Chandler Tower, Cherokee 4122 Tango is ready to go at 22 right. Says 27 Golf, remain this frequency, taxi to runway 22 right.
27 Golf, roger, remain this frequency, taxi back.
Cherokee 4122 Tango at the Chandler Tower at the field boundary, proceed on course, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 22 right, Cherokee 22 Tango. Okay, everything looks good, our speed's moving.
And we were off. We headed toward Firebird Lake, which is a visual checkpoint for Phoenix Sky Harbor. It only takes a couple of minutes to get there, and then we get cleared into the Class Bravo. Depending on which direction traffic is landing at Sky Harbor, we use either the east or the west transition, and we get cleared for one or the other. We use that to get to the north side of the airport. We also had to be ready to get the ATIS to Deer Valley quickly after we left the Class Bravo, and then get cleared to land there. But before all of that, I had to make my first ever call to Phoenix Approach, or to any approach facility for that matter. We were approaching Firebird Lake, so I made the call. On the initial call, I failed to mention the checkpoint we were over, but I did say we wanted to transition south to north, which almost implies that. Larry, my instructor, wanted me to clarify because the controller gave me a different frequency for approach than normal. But before I could make that call, the controller asked me a follow-up question that allowed me to clear it all up. Here's that conversation. I'll let it play a bit as we pass over Sky Harbor, with Larry showing me some of the visual keys that I can use to find my way across in the dark.
Phoenix Approach, Cherokee 4122 Tangos, 3,500 feet. Would like to transition the Class Bravo airspace from south to north.
4122 Tango, change my frequency 120.7.
120.7, Cherokee 22 Tango.
I hope he understood where we're at, because normally we're at 123, but tell him you're over Firebird Lake. Go ahead and call him again. Tell him Phoenix Approach 412
4122 Tango, say destination and type aircraft.
We are a Cherokee 160 Warrior, and our destination is Deer Valley. We're over Firebird Lake currently.
Very good. That'll do it.
Number 4122 Tango, squawk 5337 and IDN.
Squawking 5337 and we'll ident. 7.
There you go. Oh, there, yeah, you guess you got it. Didn't brighten up though.
No.
Number 4122 Tango, radar contact at Firebird Lake. Phoenix altimeter 2961. Clear to Phoenix Class Bravo airspace of VF. Proceed northbound, east transition. Maintain VFAR 3,500 while in Class Bravo airspace.
We'll transition south to north on the east, and we'll maintain 3500.
Okay, that's the lowest they ever had.
30608.
Okay, now I saw the beacon for Sky Harbor. There's a freeway right here, actually, and you're going to stay a little bit this side of the freeway, so keep turning.
Oh, 608, expect direct
we have to fly off the east end of the airport, and if you looked at we looked a little more carefully at the Bravo chart.
That's going to turn, though.
That's okay.
That freeway turns this way and then goes north.
I know it is. We're not going to follow around. We're just going to use it as a reference to go off the east end of the airport.
Oh, okay.
If you look out over the nose, there's Sky Harbor off there. I want to go off the east end.
I don't see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of flashing lights there. You got to... Yeah, I just saw the beacon.
I'm too high, too.
I just saw the beacon, by the way. It's a little bit to the left of the nose. Just above, you see a dark area where the mountain is. Look a little bit above it, and you saw flashing white light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, flashing white. I don't know if I saw the green.
It seems
green. The green is very, very dim.
Yeah, it seems very low.
Okay, so one of the realizations I made that night, at least in the area I'm flying, it's very difficult to find the airports at night and to pick out the beacons in the middle of the city lights. Larry told me that in the Midwest, where he's done a lot of his flying, the beacons were much brighter for some reason, which I was able to verify a couple of months later when I flew to Oshkosh. I flew commercially into Milwaukee at night, and I found it very, very easy to pick out all of the general aviation airports out there as we flew by. But in the Phoenix Valley, the airports, for my untrained eye, were very hard to find. And I had kind of expected it to be pretty easy. Maybe too much power is being used for air conditioning or something around here because it's so dang hot. I don't know, but whatever the cause, it took some focus. Okay, so once I was established on the transition at the right altitude, in this case 3,500 feet, or about 2,000 feet above the ground, it was incredible to watch the big airliners landing and departing just below us. The airport, which is pretty large, looked small from our vantage point, which also surprised me a little bit. I guess it shouldn't have, but it did. These are the things that seasoned pilots probably forget what it was like when they were first doing something. So as we passed over and headed north of the Class Bravo airspace, we were released by approach and sent on our way to Deer Valley. I'll let this play from just before we were released because you'll hear Larry trying to explain to me how to find the airport. Pretty comical because I'm sitting there thinking, why can't I see it? And I'm sure Larry was pretty much thinking the same thing. I finally got it, and we headed over toward it. We still had approach tuned in, so I apologize for all of the voices kind of stomping over the top of us.
3,200 to establish before the approach, and I'm 288.
288, radar service is terminated. Maintain present beacon code, kind of Gateway Tower 124.75.
Contact Tower 124.75, and I'm 288.
Number 4122 Tango, leaving Class Bravo airspace, proceed on navigation to Deer Valley, squawk VFR, radar service is terminated for exchange approved, good night.
Squawk VFR, frequency change approved, Cherokee 22 Tango, good night.
Okay, I put the... Yeah, it's over here. I just saw the beacon, I think. I got to figure out where it's at every night I come here. You're heading basically right for it.
Now 4139 Bravo, turn right heading 210, vector to the final.
We got the tower there. We got ATIS here. Let's get ATIS one more time. I hope this isn't too loud, so.
Departure, arrow
2962. Visual approach in use, landing runway 25 left, 25 right.
25 left and right.
Notice airman use caution, runway 7 right, 25 left, and taxiway Charlie.
See right off the nose up there above the hills.
Due to construction grading.
Watch
ramp 2 closed. Compass rose closed.
There's the white.
VFR aircraft
hard to see.
Control direction.
It's right on the nose.
All arrival contact tower on 118.4.
Little hill above the nose there. If you look a little above that and just a teeny bit to the right. There's the white.
Deer Valley Airport information.
There's the green. Green's hard to see.
Zulu.
I do not have
1210 at 10.
Okay, see the flashing light just off the right of the nose?
Yeah.
Is it left or right?
It's to the left of that. Okay. If you follow the yellow lights over to the left where the yellow lights appear to stop, there's the beacon.
Notice Airman use caution runway.
So it's runway, it's Alpha, and they're landing 25.
Okay, Roger. Just let us know when you want
to. You see the little flashing lights, that's the runway identifier lights. If you follow the yellow lights, the series of yellow-looking lights, one line above the other, if you follow the first line closest to it to the left where it appears to stop.
Make right traffic for runway 25 right.
Oh, I just got a white.
Right traffic for runway 25.
Yeah, there you see a flashing.
Yep, I got it.
So if you head right towards that, you're heading for the tower. A little to the right of it, you'll be on a left base for 25 left. So we're going to work ourselves eventually down. We're about 10 miles out. We got to get down to 2,500 pattern altitude, and we're 10 miles out right here. And it shows 6 miles from the Phoenix VOR. So yeah, I figured 15. So that gives us about 9 miles out, and then that's about 9-10 miles out. So we're using both here. You can use the
So back to that first big lesson I learned that night. Airports seem to always be hard to find, even at night. I guess I need some more practice. So we continued. Had to lose a bit of altitude, and then about 6 miles from Deer Valley, I made the call to them. You can hear Larry prompt me here because the frequency was very busy, and I was having a hard time getting a word in. And we were closing in on the airspace, so we needed to establish communication.
Okay, give them a call. Deer Valley Tower, this Cherokee 4122 Tango is 6 miles southeast of the field, inbound for stop and go, and we have Alpha.
Cherokee 4122 Tango, Deer Valley Tower on the left base, runway 25 left, report a 3-mile left base. And just to let you know, the south runway and the tower will be closing in about 8 minutes, and the north runway will remain open. I don't know, do you park here at the airport, or will you be leaving the area?
We will be leaving the area towards Scottsdale after the stop and go. Cherokee 22 Tango.
22 Tango, roger.
So after a couple of more miles, I was about to report a 3-mile left base. and he switched us to the north or to the right runway and cleared us to land. We were a bit high to make sure we cleared some buttes that are east of the airport, but then we needed to get down a little bit. The north runway is a bit shorter than the south one, so we wanted to make sure we were using most of the runway at the beginning and allowing for a safe stop and go. Here's the landing, which was my first night landing ever.
Let's just tell them we're 3 miles out.
Cherokee 22 Tango, can you accept a stop and go on the north runway?
Yes, we can.
Affirmative, we can do that. 22 Tango.
Roger, let's play for the north runway, and are you coming up on the 101 now?
That's affirmative.
22 Tango, Roger. You're number 2 following a Seminole on about a half-mile final to the north runway. Runway 25 right, cleared stop and go. Then fly straight out, and I'll give you a downwind departure shortly after that.
Okay, 25 right, cleared for the stop and go number 2. We do have the traffic, Cherokee 22 Tango.
Thank you.
The route we can hear, I don't know if there's a hill right here, so...
25 left.
Pan up 3 Soldier Valley Tower,
Okay, we'll make sure we get a little lower here. There you go. Yep, we're high, so we don't want to be high. We're going to slip here. Let's go ahead and let's see where we're going
traffic
from.
In the up one for the north runway is a Seminole outside
just
that
like
traffic northwest is
conditions. We're just
have a good night, and again, taxiway 3 and 9 will be open. We're amending the ASOS message now to reflect that.
Okay, so I'm going to turn outside the Seminole traffic, and we'll be cleared to the northwest.
Okay, you're doing better now. There we got a real white. Those runway identified.
Hour 2 red. Have a good night.
That's okay.
Good night, panel 212.
Just don't go lower.
And back to all the stop to the 101, landing west side of Westland.
You'll be okay. They're going to turn red anyway when you get real close, so.
West side of Westland, landing via John Rich,
everything's
21012.
we got wind from the left, so we're going to have to kick a little right rudder there for the slip. And I'd rather get it right down on the end so we can.
Deer Valley Tower, Cessna 8747 uniform, is at Charlie 13, ready for departure.
Cessna 47 uniform, Deer Valley Tower, west departure is approved. Runway
Down to
25 left.
16, we got a lot of wind, so
Take off, 25 left.
you don't want to get it that necessarily that slow.
Okay.
So you're doing okay, though. Okay, just relax. We'll just go ahead and stop now. Nice, even braking here.
Okay, so we were ready to head out again and over toward Scottsdale, en route to Mesa's Falcon Field Airport, or FFZ. Here's our departure. It was now 9 o'clock or so, which is when all of the Class Delta airports in the area closed the tower. We would just get our call in for the transition to get approved just before they left, which was probably not necessary since the airspace would change to Class Golf before we even got there. But I guess it was good practice anyway, and I need it. As you'll notice, I asked Larry about getting the ATIS before I called for that transition because I wasn't aware yet in my training that when you ask for transitions, getting ATIS usually isn't necessary, and that the pertinent information, namely the altimeter setting, would be volunteered by the controller approving the transition. That's why I had Larry with me, I guess, so I could learn this stuff and practice it. You'll also hear Scottsdale Tower close the tower and change the airspace, and they broadcast that, of course, out on the frequency for anybody listening.
Clear touch and go.
I know it's blowing you around. We'll just
Clear touch and go, Pan 92 on 25 right.
About a 79, not VY climb, and he'll turn us out here to the south, and we'll head towards Scottsdale, and hopefully switch us.
47 uniform, do you have a Cherokee heading to your right off the north runway in sight?
All right, got the traffic inside for 47 uniform.
Roger, if you could just offset to the north a little bit, he's going to do a left down departure.
I'll offset to the north a little bit.
He's helping us out.
Thank you, and out to the west, frequency change approved, and also again when you come back, taxiways 3 and 9 will be open for crossings for the south runway being closed, and you have a good night.
Hey, thanks, good day.
Cherokee 22 Tango, there's traffic off your left and behind you. A Cessna has you in sight. He's going to maneuver in behind you there, and you can do a left down departure.
Left downwind departure, Cherokee 22 Tango, thank you.
Cherokee 22 Tango, you can contact Scottsdale Tower in the left turn. Have a good day.
We'll change frequencies after the turn. Good day. Cherokee 22 Tango.
Yeah, we can go ahead and contact them now. They're closing, so as we turn here.
Scottsdale stay open?
I don't think so. So when he told us in the turn you could contact the tower, but we'll wait till we're going to follow the freeway there.
Okay.
We'll give them a call. Let's see what time is it. They might be closed too. What is ATIS for? Let's just go ahead and switch right now. Once you turn east, just say Scottsdale, call Scottsdale Tower, tell them you just departed Deer Valley, you want to transition en route to Falcon Field. We'll see if they answer us.
Okay.
I played with the volume here, so I hope I don't blow you out. You can go ahead.
Do you want to listen to the ATIS? And
yeah, let's just give them a call.
Oh, that's a stiff wind we've got here.
Yeah.
We're moving sideways.
Yeah, let's just... And we don't need to go real high. Let's just go to about 2,500 at the moment. We're going to head right towards their beacon out there. It's a little coming up on your nose here. And give them a call. Tell them we're just departed Deer Valley and see if they answer. If they don't, they might just say we're about to close, so transition. But all right, just departed Deer Valley. Want to transition your airspace en route to
Scottsdale Tower, Cherokee 4122 Tango, just departed Deer Valley. Would like to transition your airspace toward Falcon Field.
Cherokee 4122 Tango, Scottsdale Tower approved. Altimeter 2966.
Altimeter 2966, approved transition, Cherokee 22 Tango.
Okay, well, let's level off about 2,700 is probably good. He didn't give us any altitude restrictions. Yeah, we got a heck of a wind from the...
Yeah, it's coming this way.
So again, we'll just head right for the beacon.
Or this way, I mean.
Yeah, we can... And once you're at altitude, we'll pull that throttle back just a touch there when you're ready. There you go. See, it's just kind of doing things quickly. We got a few minutes before we get to Falcon Field, so as we go over Deer Valley, we could... we'll be able to see the beacon out here for Falcon Field. We know it's out here to the right somewhere. And actually, if you stare out in that vicinity, when you get a little closer, I just saw the beacon. Yeah, you can already see the beacon for Falcon Field. I have the feeling Falcon Field will be closed.
Yeah,
this will make this whole thing a lot easier, actually, when they're closed.
Attention aircraft, time now 0400 Zulu. Scottsdale Tower is terminating Class Delta services. Class Golf airspace now in effect. Wind 2308, altimeter 2967. Scottsdale Tower will resume normal operations tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. local. Pilot operated lighting is available on frequency. State intentions on common traffic advisory frequency 119.9. Traffic on Alpha, outbound full runway 21 at Cessna. Traffic 6 miles west of the airport, 2,800 indicated eastbound is a Cherokee. Negative observed or known traffic in the vicinity otherwise. Good night.
Okay, so it was pretty uneventful heading toward Falcon Field, but a gorgeous flight nonetheless. It was awesome to observe the large Phoenix Valley from this vantage point at night. I was really enjoying this. We listened to Falcon's ATIS just before they were closed and then proceeded. During this segment, you'll also notice that we did the same a little later with Gateway's ATIS, just to be sure they were closed. Gateway, of course, would be our last stop of the night before heading back to Chandler, which was just a few miles away from Gateway.
Falcon Tower hours of operation are 6 a.m. local time to 9 p.m. local time.
They're closed too?
The common traffic advisory frequency is 124.6. Pilot-operated lighting for runway 4 right, 22 left is available on frequency 124.6. For additional information, contact Phoenix Approach Control on 119.2.
Okay, so all we got to do when we go to Falcon is we'll just make an announcement. We'll use our GPS. We'll tell them we're so many miles to the northwest, planning on a stop-and-go runway. Again, what were the winds? Well, I forgot what the winds were at... we'll tell them we're landing. Yeah, we're going to tell them we're going to land on 2-2. It's coming out of the south, so we'll do...
it's coming out of the west.
Out of the west? Yeah, we're flying this way, so yeah, it's coming somewhere from this direction.
Right.
Correct?
I just know when I turned crosswind,
southwest, maybe we could say, yeah. Yeah, you could feel it when you're turning crosswind.
Oh, yeah. It was blowing us back toward the airport.
Really pretty out here at night, though. I love
it is.
And let's see.
All right, make an announcement.
Yeah, are we over the top? I didn't know. Just tell them you're over the top of the field, southeast bound, headed towards Falcon Field.
Scottsdale traffic, Cherokee 22 Tango is overflying the field at 2,800 feet, transitioning toward Falcon, Scottsdale.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I see a beacon a little to the right of the nose, so I kind of bear to the left here, just kind of like you're doing.
Yeah, just kind of keep it on the same heading, and then
we'll kind of angle it towards there. And we'll use this. We're 13 out from Falcon Field, so we get 7 out to the northwest. We'll tell them we're going to do a. Again, I don't know which runways are in use. We'll tell them we're doing a right base, or we could do a right downwind for 22 right or 22 left. I don't know what's lit up there. We're going to have to take a look. If they're both lit up, we'll just. I don't hear anybody talk. We'll have to push over to their frequency in a moment here, which is, let me get that 124.6, I think. Let's put 124.6 on here. And while we're doing this, okay, we got Scottsdale. I mean, we'll probably go ahead and switch to Falcon Tower. Let's go ahead and do that.
That's 124.6.
Traffic diamond 06 Golf, turning left base, running to the left, full stop landing.
Left base 22 left, so we could say right base for 22 right. Let's get ATIS for 133.5 for Gateway right now. We'll see how their status is. I think they're closed too. And I'm going to go ahead and push.
Altitude 3,900. Gateway Towers, hours of operation are 0600 local through 2100 local time daily.
Yeah,
the
close.
advisory frequency is 120.6. For additional information, contact Phoenix Approach Control on 120.6.
Okay, we'll put 120.6 down.
That parallels the north ramp previously known.
Okay, we're on Falcon's Comet Traffic Advisory Frequency, and on COM2 we've got Gateway's Traffic Advisory Frequency. We could come out a little bit to the right as we get closer and enter a right downwind, or we could just tell them we're on a right base for runway 22 right. I don't know.
Traffic helicopter Falcon 5 is about 7 miles southwest, 1,900 feet. Inbound for landing southeast.
I lost the field, actually.
A little to the right.
It should be a little to the right.
Watch the beacon out there. Just a little to the right of the nose. Yep, I just saw the little flash. Just a little to the right of the nose. Not a big flash. Little white flash. Little green flash. Little white flash. Little green flash. Green is really hard to see. It's almost out just right on the right edge of your nose there, just where the light's starting, a little bit above it. Okay. And we're 8 miles northwest. If we get a mile closer, we'll tell her we're 8 to the northwest, planning on a right base for runway 22 right. We'll see if that works, see if anybody yells at us. Do you see the beacon yet? Or
nope.
You lost it?
I had it earlier, but I lost it.
Let's push direct. Enter. Heading of 132 degrees. We haven't checked our DG here lately. It's saying about 135 degrees right there now. So it's precessed quite a bit. That's 120, 135. There you go. We're right in there. So we're heading right for the airport. You'll see the beacon as you get closer here again, and anytime you want. We're at 7.5 out, so.
Okay. And we want to do a right base for 22 right?
Yeah, we'll tell them we'll be on. We're going to do a right base for 22 right.
Okay.
If they yell at us, we'll do the full pattern entry.
Okay.
Falcon traffic, Cherokee 22 Tango is inbound for a right base for 22 right. We are 7 miles to the northwest. Falcon traffic.
There you go. Beacon's right off your nose. I'll show you with the white. There's the white flash. There's the
I see it.
Yep. So we'll stay a little to the left of that, assuming that.
Falcon traffic helicopter Falcon 5 is now about 3 miles south, 1,900 feet. Inbound for landing southeast corner of the airport. We're going to stay south of the runways at all times. Falcon.
Okay, so we're well on our way to Falcon Field, but what we didn't know at the time was that Falcon closes 22 right when the tower closes. So someone else in the pattern would end up letting us know, so I switched to 22 left. Someone was departing in front of us, and as I noted in an earlier episode, sometimes it can be difficult to understand some of our international students in the area. I'll play that call, and I obviously didn't understand what they said, so I asked Larry. Somehow he caught that they were taking the active runway, and then you can hear me kind of rhetorically repeat that, since I had no idea what was said, and it did not sound like taking the active runway to me. Of course, listening on the recording a couple of times, I could hear it as well, but it didn't sound like that to me at the time. So I'm pretty impressed that Larry picked it up. Kind of funny, though.
Yeah, last time I came in here, they didn't have taking the active.
Taking the active?
So we made our approach for Falcon Field, so I'll play my second night landing starting from short final, as well as the next takeoff.
Again, you're at 65, so let's just keep it right at 65. Don't get too slow. And got the runway made. Now you see the lights. Ease that power off and just look out to the distance just like you would. And now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and stop, but I'm going to keep a little bit of throttle in there. It's just enough to kind of contrary to what we're doing here. We're just going to have to...
Do I make an announcement?
Yeah, if you'd like, tell them you're departing to the south towards Gateway.
Falcon traffic, Cherokee 22 Tango is on the go on 22 left, and we'll be departing to the south. Falcon traffic.
Falcon traffic 2710, just turning left. Downwind 400 to left. Falcon traffic.
All right, well, there's more to come on this flight, but as I said, I'll finish it up in the next episode. For now, we're headed down toward Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, or India Whiskey Alpha, where we would do some more practice landings at night on those giant runways and then head home to Chandler. Until then, thanks for listening. I can't wait to finish up all of my training for all of you out there. I've got some good post-license flying to talk about as well, so I can't wait to get all caught up. If you need to get a hold of me, you can do so as usual at bill@studentpilotcast.com, or you can simply log on to the website at www.studentpilotcast.com and hit the contact link in the upper right-hand corner, or even leave a comment on a specific episode if you want to talk to me about that episode. So adios for now from the Southwest. Get out there and fly. The music for today's audiocast is the song To Be an Angel from the great Canadian band Uncle Seth. You can get more information and subscribe to the Student Pilot audiocast and videocast using iTunes, Zune, or any other podcatcher at www.studentpilotcast.com. Remember, any instruction that you hear in this podcast was meant for me and me alone in the situation that we happen to be in at the time. Please do not try to apply anything you see or hear in this episode or any other episode to your own flying. If you have questions about any portion of your flying, please consult your own CFI.